Today I'm showing you how to build a magically appearing bridge. This video is a continuation of my How to Build an Adventure Map from Scratch series. If you want to watch the other videos in this series, there are links in the description below and you can watch all of those. The way I'm deciding which videos to make is I'm just building my adventure map, and then if I find something interesting that I think will help you guys, I make a video on it. So today I'm showing you how to build this magical bridge. I've seen this function in 2 maps now, which brings me to my first point. If you're gonna be an awesome map maker, you need to play other people's maps. I saw someone else build this and I said, oh my gosh, I need that for my map. So then I went and figured out how to build it. Playing other people's maps is key, so be sure you're active in the community, playing other people's maps, and then figuring out how they did something in their map. I just thought this function of this magically appearing bridge was so cool, and it had to be a part of my magical flying castle adventure map. Now I do want to clarify, because I've seen this as a problem in this community before, do not go out and just copy people's work straight up. Now I'm not saying you can't use a function like a magically appearing bridge in your map because someone else did it and that means you can't use it now. I'm talking about just straight up going and copying someone's map and saying, oh, this was my own. Plagiarism should not exist in creative mode. So use ideas from other people's maps, incorporate them into your own, but don't just go and straight up copy people's work. Before I teach you how to make this magical bridge, I just want to show you some of the updates on the castle that I've been making. So at the end of the last video, I had basically just built out about that much of the castle, but you can see now I've made quite a bit of progress in making the entire thing. You can look at, here's the top-down view of what the castle looks like. Now, I should mention, I was kind of running out of space, and so I deleted some of the walls, but that's okay because in the movie of Castle in the Sky, there are definitely broken sections of the castle wall, and I don't even know if people that are playing through this map are even going to see this backside. So there are going to be options in the future to take some of my memory away by deleting some of these walls if I need to. But I wanted to build it out all first so that it all felt right to me. So as you can see here, there are definitely some gaps that I haven't filled in yet. This is the interior of the castle. I actually had to make this metal bowl bigger because I needed it to connect at the bottom of the inner ring right there, you can see. And then I also started having these awesome stone pillars coming out to hold up the rest of the castle because I wanted it to feel realistic. And then I'm going to go through and add in these things later because basically at the beginning of the map I'm going to have people start on the outer ring and have to make their way in and kind of go through this maze and have some parkour and stuff to be able to get up to the top. You can see kind of here what I'm talking about. There'll be a bunch of this kind of stuff all over the place, but it's gonna take a while for me to build that out. But this is kind of the beginnings of what it looks like. As you can just kind of see, it's starting to look like the actual Castle in the Sky, and I'm pretty pleased with how it's turning out. I still really need to build out the top of the castle, and then there's gonna be trees popping out of the top of this. But you can see that the castle's really starting to take shape. So at some point, our map players are going to come out of one of these doors out onto this grassy area at the top of the castle. And I'm gonna have a puzzle up here of some sort that's going to trigger our magical bridge. That's our magical bridge right now. I'm gonna show you how to build it in just a second. But they're gonna have to solve some puzzle, parkour up to the top of this, and then it's gonna trigger the bridge at this point, which will get them over to the real entrance to the castle right here, where they'll start to see some more puzzles or things that they have to get through. I've probably spent 3 or 4 hours from that last video building all this out. Once again, using the custom object function that I kind of showed you how to set up in the last video. That's helped me build this out really quickly. Okay, enough of the update there. Let's get on to the magical bridge. Okay, the main thing you're gonna need to make this work is the trick tile device you can find right here in the devices list. You can place them on any floor, wall, ceiling that is a solid, non-prop floor, wall, or ceiling. So this is what I mean by prop floor. So this is a floor right here that I repositioned using by pushing B and then building to prop. Like now I'm using this as a prop. I cannot use that tile device on a prop placed floor. So I could not place it on that. It would just not work. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. Okay, so now we've got our floors all placed. So I've got 7 tiles here, and I've placed the trick tile on all of the squares. Now, if you've never used these before, it's a trap type item. So you just pull out your trap, and then you place it down. It's really that simple. And then I'm gonna show you the settings that you're gonna need for your trap tile right here. Okay, so you're gonna go into your trap tile and go to the all options here. So there's a couple of settings you're gonna need to make sure you change. The first thing you're gonna need to change is the activate on game start. That's gonna make it so this tile, it disappears at the very start, so that when someone comes up here on this part of the map, it looks like there's no bridge here at all. So you're just gonna come down here on your all options and click yes on activate at game start. Now I have this trigger here, which is triggering a sequence down below, and I'm gonna show you how that works. But one thing we could do to have this reappear is when they trigger this channel 1, it could just make this whole thing appear at once. But I didn't want it to all appear at once. It just doesn't feel as cool as it like appearing slowly. So I have a sequence somewhere else on the map that activates this slowly, and I'll show you how I set that up in just a second. But if you wanted it to just magically appear all at once, like it's not there and now it's there, all you'd have to do is that when they stepped on this channel 1, the only thing you'd have to change here is reset when receiving from channel 1. And you'd have to change that setting on each of these to make it appear on channel 1. But I didn't want that in my map. I wanted it to appear slowly and also have that magical sound, this one right here, when it appears, just so it just kind of adds to the feel of the map. One other setting you would need to change on your tile if you were having it all appear at once is you would need to go down here and say disable when receiving from channel 1 as well. The reason you want to do that is because when your player starts running over these again, it's going to reactivate the trick tile and it will make that disappear. So maybe you want that on your bridge, maybe you want it so it appears and then it disappears after they run over it. I mean, that might be something you want on your bridge, but for me on this bridge, I did not want it to disappear after you run over it. So I went into the settings and just said disable when receiving from the channel that reactivated the trick tile. Okay, so let me show you my sequencer down below. So down here, I have set up a sequencer with a bunch of channels. Now, the reason I wanted a sequencer, because I wanted it to appear slowly. Basically at that speed is what I wanted the bridge to appear at, and then I've placed these triggers throughout this, evenly spaced throughout the sequencer. And you can see here when the sequencer hits these channels, it just progresses through the number. So this is channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5. So when the sequencer hits those, it broadcasts on those channels. And then this sequencer starts when it receives from channel 1. So back here, when our player steps on channel 1, it activates the sequencer. It also activates the sound. This is the magic sound right here, and it activates and enables when receiving from channel 1. So it plays the sound, activates the sequencer, and then the sequencer goes through here and it resets from channel 2, disables when receiving from channel 2, and then this one is receiving from channel 3, disabling when it receives from channel 3, and so on, channel 4, channel 5, channel 6, channel 7, channel 8, so it appears slowly. Let's watch it again, just so you can kind of see what happens. Okay, so our player gets up to this point and solves the puzzle. This is not the puzzle that I'm gonna have in my map where they just stand here and it appears. I'm gonna have some sort of puzzle with these pillars or something down here that they have to do, and then once they get up here, they'll trigger something that activates the magical bridge. Now, I could have built this out a little more and added walls and stuff, but I'm really worried about my memory space right now, so I'm not gonna make this any fancier of a bridge other than just this flooring that appears to run across to get over to the main part of the castle. So there you have it. There's our magically appearing bridge that we have built, and it's perfect for this adventure map. Maybe it works for your adventure map or your death run or some other puzzle. I think it's just a really cool function that can be used in any type of map, but especially on adventure maps. I just think it adds some really fun nuances in the adventure, just the feel of your map. It's so important to have people just say, wow, that is cool, and I think this is one of those functions that is really a wow type moment. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch the other videos in this series, you can click right here and watch those. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day.